Hello everyone, I'm Daxton. There's an American burger shake right over there. And today I'm going to be reviewing Radiohead's debut album, Pablo Honey. So before I get into the review, because it's been a while since I made a YouTube video, I want to do a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, I want to make more videos and I want to do more reviews specifically. I'm going to try to get out 3 a week. That's going to be my goal. And my methodology to that is going to be I'm going to do the review here, and then I'm going to rate it on Album of the Year, post all my notes there and the review, so you can go in and read it and see the review on there. I currently have an Album of the Year account with about like 550 ratings, give or take. That's not going to be the one I use for this YouTube channel. Everything I wrote on here, I'll put on a brand new account, so this will be the first rating on that account. And obviously, I'll go into my personal account that I have right now and delete my Pablo Honey rating off there, so I'm not double rating it. Other than that, I do want to try to be a little harsher than I normally am. I think the internet has kind of made this idea that like a 7 is average and a 6 is like pretty bad, and I kind of disagree with that, and I think like a 5 should be pretty average, and then a 4 you're getting into the worst range, but it's not even that bad at a 4. At least in my mind, that's how the rating scale seems better. So hopefully a byproduct of me doing these reviews on YouTube will be that I'm able to bring the rating scale into a place where like the 10 and 1 are actually extreme opposites, where right now they are pretty extreme opposites, but I want it to be like even more so. I want to use all the numbers in the rating scale instead of just like the top 5 of the numbers, you know? So those are my goals with the reviews, and that doesn't mean I'm just going to be like a jerk to the albums for no reason. I actually am going to pay a lot of attention and try to give an honest review, and then the number might be a little lower than you're used to from like a normal critic based on what I said, but what I say in the review should be honest. Like, that is the goal, is that I give my opinion as honestly as I can. I don't want to like intentionally trash on music, but I also don't want to be like, it's all right, so it can have a 6. I feel like that is going to be harmful to the critiquing of music in the long term. So now this is unfortunately going to be not a very great place to start here. So Pablo Honey is Radiohead's debut. It came out in 1993. It's kind of grunge. Now, if you're familiar with Radiohead and their work, you're not really familiar with them being referred to as grunge, but Pablo Honey is kind of a grunge album. Especially, I mean, you all know the song Creep, like that's very staple grunge song. All the people that like Creep also like Smells Like Teen Spirit and Even Flow. So I went into this with an open mindset to it being not the typical Radiohead that I'm used to from their later releases, because, I actually have listened to almost their entire discography, and I did it out of order originally. But I was quite disappointed. You start off with this track, You, which is not entirely horrible at first, but the longer it goes on, the more I feel like skipping it. The lyrics are just so plain. I don't feel like I relate to the lyrics, even though if you actually read them, you could probably find things in your life you could relate to these lyrics, but that's just because they're so plain, and it takes so much brain power to get to that point, because the song doesn't make you feel the things the lyrics are conveying. The song just sounds like a song, like the generic template of a song. Like you search up song on Google and download the first link. That's what it sounds like, and that's going to be a recurring theme throughout this entire album, unfortunately. Keep in mind, it is their debut, and I expect they'll get better at producing interesting music, but right now this is a very amateur project, so take all this with that grain of salt in mind. But yeah, there's pretty much no reward for listening to this song. I could never see myself returning to it. Moving on to Creep, I mean, come on. It's like, it's not bad, but the overplaying of it and the mainstream popularization of it has made it really annoying to me. The lyrics are just like an absolute pity party, and they're so edgy, and I just can't. I can't with this song, man. I'm just gonna move on to the next song, which is "How Do You Do." Uh, the vocals and lyrics on here are really quite annoying, actually. Uh, Whatever he's saying in the lyrics, I don't really feel like I need to care about it, if that makes any sense. The song does not draw me into a point where I'm like, ooh, I wonder what these lyrics are about. It's like, oh, there's a song happening. It has lyrics. So I actually don't have anything to say about the lyrics of the song because I really just didn't feel like reading them. I don't feel like I have to care about the lyrics if they're not presented to me in a way that is interesting or gives them any merit. They're literally just there. It's quite monotonous to sit through until at the end they get really like weird. They start doing some like blip blip blip, blip computer noises going on, and then like this piano run goes all the way up and down the keyboard for almost no reason. I didn't feel like it tied into the rest of the song. I'm sure when they made it, they had an idea like, oh yeah, it ties in the song in this way, but it's just not able to be heard when you listen to the song on the record. Moving on to Stop Whispering, it's like I just want to fall asleep. There is nothing going on. I don't need to be listening to these songs. Is kind of the vibe that I'm getting over and over again, is that they're just literally a song to be there, and it's not worth my time investing into it or coming back to it for any reason. The lyrics on here are like, stop whispering and start shouting. Let yourself be heard, break out, and don't let them repress you, man. Which is, not a horrible sentiment, but the way that this song does it, it seems like it's an annoying sentiment. Also, there's some weird stuff that goes on at the end of this song, too. Every song here has a weird little something that happens right at the end, because I guess Radiohead felt like they had to end the song in an interesting way, but it's never interesting. It's always just weird and off-putting. There's no satisfying ends to the track on any of these. So moving on to Thinking About You. So imagine some kid wearing a beanie and like 8 bracelets gets up onto the stage at your high school talent show with an acoustic guitar and sings a song. That's this song. It's bad. Anyone can play guitar. You got like a noise intro. Now, I'm a noise fan, but I don't get the noise intro at all. Like, I don't feel like it's good sounding. I don't feel like it's well integrated into the song that comes, because the song that comes is actually just like a bass line, and I say that with an inquisitive tone because it's not a good bass line. It's a bad bass line, I would even say. It's not engaging. And then you got the lead singer who's singing at the same volume he's always singing on, it would appear. No matter what's going on in the background, his tone seems to stay exactly the same. And then occasionally this like guitar riff will come in and be like right up into the front of the song out of nowhere, which could be done cool if like the guitar riff was sick and the drums were like pulling you in and the bass line and the guitar line fit together in any way, and the singer is belting his heart out about some interesting stuff, but that's not what's happening. It's just like, oh, here's a guitar. I guess because the song is about anyone being able to play guitar. And then the chorus on here is really bad. I don't wish hearing this chorus upon anyone who is watching this review, to be quite frankly. And in my notes here, it says the annoying wannabe is so bad. And I'm not going to try to do an impersonation of what that sounds like in the song, but if you go to like the back half of the song and you find where he says wannabe, it's pretty much instant skip just because of that, as if the chorus wasn't already annoying and the song was built upon one below average bass line. Um, Coming into Ripcord, uh, all my notes for these songs are the same. I remember this one because it's just a walking through sludge song. Like, yes, this is a song and it's happening and it keeps happening even though you don't really want it to. And then the chorus comes and it's annoying because the melodies are not fun. So unfortunately, you just end up being like, oh, maybe the next song will be good. And then you get into the next song, which is Vegetable in our case, and it's just as forgettable as the last song. This album is almost like annoyingly empty. You're searching so hard. Like, if you're listening with intent to find something to enjoy, it's going to be a very excruciating experience because you are just digging in the most unfertile soil. You went out to the California Gold Rush and you ended up in northern Washington. You're not even anywhere near California, and there's no gold anywhere. You are just digging in the soil. Another great line to listen to for if you're gonna listen to the song Vegetable. He goes like, "You're gonna pay," and he gets really loud on "pay" for no reason, which "you're gonna pay" being repeated over and over again is kind of an annoying tone to be in the song anyway. All of these lyrics sound like they were written by a ninth grader trying to be a songwriter for the first time. Again, Vegetable is another example of the end kind of breaking down and just like falling apart because they tried to end it in an interesting way. Moving on to Prove Yourself, these vocals are not good. They're like, day one, I just became a vocalist, and again, the lyrics written by a ninth grader. I know this review is sounding really repetitive, like I have nothing new to say song after song, and that's because Radiohead has nothing new to provide song after song, so I can't. All the same problems. Lurge, incredibly boring. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the first part of the song is just two chords going back and forth and back and forth. It's like a lullaby. It's so boring. Blowout. I when I was scrolling through the reviews on Album of the Year, I noticed a lot of people rated this song as one of the higher songs in the album. I guess because they were just like really happy that it was over and they didn't have to listen to it anymore, because it is an incredibly long listen. Even though it's only 45 minutes, it feels like an eternity. But yeah, there's nothing going on this song. It's a very unsatisfying end to a very unsatisfying album. This record overall is completely void of interesting ideas. The vocal performance is mostly annoying. The lyrical substance to be found here is laughable because of how incredibly basic you would have to be to find fulfillment from the lyrics. The production is at least not completely horrible, although it is super amateur, and there are moments when I wish I could go in and change some things, like that particular bass line that I didn't care for. This album is like building a well in a place that doesn't have any water. It's like building a well over a stone deposit. You're not going to tap in any groundwater there. There is no reason that I could find that you would want to come back to this album ever. There's like, unless you really like Creep because you're edgy, none of the other songs are worth giving the time of day. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 15 out of 100. Let me know your thoughts on the album down in the comments. This should be the first of many reviews, and I'm sorry it was kind of a boring one. Sorry we started off with an album that I really have a lot of distaste for because of, how hard it is to sit through. But hopefully this is the start of a lot of reviews, and I can get better at doing this in the future and repeat myself less, even when there is pretty much nothing to talk about. So, if you did watch all the way to the end, thanks for watching, and consider leaving a like, because even if this wasn't your favorite review, if one part of it you agreed with, or I made sense one time, the like will help as I try to release more content. So, have a great day.